Really? Hi,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
Welcome to a new episode of Ampistrano, episode 21. As you can see, we have a phenomenal cast. I am your storyteller, D&D Jordan Lee. We have a couple of quick announcements before we dive into our episode for today. As you can see, we are joined by Duval.
Duval. Hi, everybody.
Duval, would you mind introducing yourself?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Jacob Blick, Duval King Jacob, wherever one can be found. It's right here, right below me, right now, below this hip to be a square. And typically, you can find me over at my home away from home, the Amphitheater, where we tell amazing stories over there, TTRPGs, video games, all that wonderful stuff. And I'm also the DM of Duval and Dragons over on the Submitted Games Twitch channel, a bunch of other shows. And I will literally always play with April Ray Gun every day.
Agreed.
I feel left out.
Fair.
And I'm leaving.
One down, let's go.
See,
Then do better.
see.
Also,
Wow.
I love you. I love you. Don't let my character die. I love you. I love you. I love you.
damn.
Oh my
And then
God.
I'm really not the big bad, you guys. I'm really not. I'm not.
I'm just ready to fight.
I'm gonna cry. Why would you say that to me?
I love you. You're amazing. I think you're amazing.
I'm just staying off screen and giving you one plate of oxtail.
Oh my God.
Coming right up.
Oh my
Love
God.
it. Perfect. Actually, Sin, there was something you wanted to plug. I'm gonna
yeah,
still throw
there
it to you,
is.
even though I know what it is.
Okay, fantastic. So for those of you who enjoy me, hi, it's me, your resident sunflower person, and robot maybe gourmand who is just kind of like, I wonder why things are happening to me. As far as where you can find me, you can find and support me at kofi.com/DND Jordan Lee for all of your lovely content. You can also check out the Patreon there, where did we have to get Fair to like DM an adventure?
We're a few more. We're I think 9 more patrons away before Fair will be DMing. We're $4 away from being from fully funding a cast member. And we also have some other things that are in the works, such as our podcast is going to be launching in 2 weeks. So yay! Lots of fun things. If you want to support us, yeah, go.
So if you want to see that and other miscellaneous adventures where I may or may not be involved being small and adorable creatures, that is where you can find me. I'm Cinziac in most other places, but on Ko-fi specifically, I'm D&D Jordan Lee. You're welcome.
I love and hate you.
Off to a great start.
With that too, that's also a fantastic transition. Thank you, by the way, Sen. We do want to say a quick special thanks to our current patron members, Sphinx, Seven, Mama Strange, Fluffy Snowfall, Chris Gideon, and Buzz Lightyear. Thank you so much for your support. You may have noticed our lovable owlbear druid is not here this week, but don't worry, they are handling some IRL stuff, and will be back with us next week.
Nope, I took them out. They're never coming back.
No, you didn't.
Confirmation, big bad.
No. The other thing that I want to shout out real quick is Rue, aka Alana Knight, reached out and is doing another TTRPG bundle. This is for trans rights in Florida. So currently, and you should see a link popping up in chat, there are about 505 TTRPGs up for grabs in this bundle. It's a massive bundle that you can get for $5. They are working towards a goal of $250,000. They are over halfway. I would love to see us, help that out as much as possible. Your support will go directly to Zebra Youth, which is a network of organizations which provide services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and all youth ages 13 to 24. They assist young people facing homelessness, bullying, isolation from their families, physical, sexual, and drug abuse with individualized programs to guide them to recovery and stability. The other nonprofit that they are focusing on is Transclusive Group. This is a transgender, nonprofit-led organization that advocates to protect and defend equality for all transgender and LGBTQI plus individuals in South Florida by building trust and relationships with community providers to end discrimination, stigma, and racial disparities to address social detriments to health. So we want to support this as much as possible. We'll actually be giving 2 bundles away during the show. Thank you, Fair, for making sure that works. I appreciate you immensely. So keep an eye on chat because we'll be doing 2 giveaways for that as well. All right. I think that's it. Are y'all ready to get into the episode today?
Roll initiative.
All right. And without further ado, let us dive in.
I rolled a nat 1.
No.
Damn. That's what you know what? That's what you get for saying that about me.
It's true. I deserved it. Yep. Goodbye.
And without further ado, let us dive into the veil of Ampistrano.
It's not true.
And welcome back.
Damn, take me out to dinner first, God.
Let's see. So, when last we left our adventurers, they had received additional information about Weldor, the missing Tortle friend of Deidre, last seen in the town of Vibran. Their travel and search, however, was cut short, as 3 dwarves in the dark of night snuck into camp and stole several coin purses and a very important item from Aurea. The party quickly gave chase, finding a small cottage deep within the Azura forest, and home to the mysterious Ursula. A small battle broke out, as neither party were willing to barter the pearl for free, before Blackstone interceding, offering a cloche. Intrigued, Ursula offered to trade the pearl after they retrieve a thread from a bone weaver, a special arachnid known to jump between here and other planes. Keeping her intentions a mystery, the group came to a tenuous agreement and hunted down the 3 dwarves who had been hiding in her cabin, before heading into the forest to an outcropping of ruins. Discussions with the dwarves revealed that Gerald, Thomas, and Anders stole from the group to get assistance from Ursula with saving Clara, Anders' sister. They had been having trouble getting assistance from Illipin and were desperate, especially with no money. A conversation ensued about right and wrong, with the note that it's okay to ask for help. As the group found themselves amongst stone pillars, vegetation, and statues, seemingly finding a good place to rest. Oria noticed that several of those statues looked a little too real and alerted the group as sounds of hissing were heard nearby. And that is where we pick up today. So, the 3 moons are high in the sky, a cloudless night, as their light paints the forest around you. A cool breeze blows through. Around you, you can see about 10 to 15 more statues scattered in various directions, seemingly caught between vegetation. You can see on several of them there are bits of ivy and thorns that have kind of wrapped themselves around several of the statues. About 60 feet away from you, across a small river, are ruins. Scattered about, broken stone of long-forgotten buildings. 2 large pillars act as entrance into this small outcropping, with 4 2-story stone buildings standing a few feet apart, held together by vegetation. Their ceilings seemingly gone or caved into the earth. Climbing through the ruins, you see part of the ruins are moving. No, something else is. The source of the hissing are 2 medium-sized lizards, their 6 legs moving almost soundlessly over the rubble. Dark blue and gray skin that has deep red jagged spikes lining its head, back, and tail. Eyes that burn a deep gray. They are wandering aimlessly, not seeming to have noticed all of you with your current coverage. All of you hear Oria say, "There's something not quite right with these statues." What do you do?
Stealth.
Stealth.
I would like to immediately hide behind a statue.
Oh.
Well,
Something
you are,
not
to
right.
set the scene real quick, you are in between 2 statues and there's this kind of large overbrush, which is almost acting like a wall. So it's kind of obscuring your view. So because you did roll a nat 20 on that check,
Okay.
so you did choose a very safe area for the moment. So you are covered, but if you would like to stealth, that's totally fine. Yes, Sid.
I'm gonna Arcana.
You're gonna Arcana. Okay.
That is an 18 on Arcana.
Okay. What are you looking for specifically?
Oh, this is kind of like something's not right about these statues, so I'm gonna see if it's a magical thing.
Okay.
Do these statues have magical vibes?
With an 18, you can tell that there's something magical about these statues. More so the fact that something was done to them, but they're not
Okay.
emitting anything that's currently active at this point.
Okay. Well, I believe that whatever is happening with these statues is potentially magical in nature. Perhaps not active at the moment, though. Everybody gets that message, like, within seconds of each other because, talking out loud when you don't have to is a bad thing.
Everyone's... So to be clear, there is a creature, right?
There are 2 creatures. They're
Okay.
60 feet
And-
away
and
across the river.
Everyone sees them, or do I need to point them out?
You would be pointing them out, because the dwarves at least have just kind of exhaustedly like sat down.
Okay. Well, I think it might have something to do with those.
Can I do like a nature survival check to see if I know what they are?
Sure, I'd allow that.
Can I help? I help you.
How will you
Oh,
be
thank
assisting
you.
Oria?
Look at that thing over there! It's got scales!
Sure. I love you.
Okay, that's a dirty... dirty 20.
Okay. So in your travels, especially in your time with your tribe, your community that travels around, it takes you a couple moments, but you do remember there was a creature that, within a certain amount of space, seemed to have locked up several individuals in your community. And by locked up, seemingly they froze in a very statuesque kind of position before they turned into statues. Your brother was the one that taught you the name of these creatures and to approach them carefully. Basilisk.
I knew it.
Yeah. It's not good.
Is something amiss?
I guess in I'll say back in my head, my tribe and I have encountered these before. They petrify people. It's best to approach with caution, if at all.
Petrify, as in turning people into stone.
Yes. Much like these statues here.
How do we stop them?
I look at the DM. I think you just kill it.
I would like to ask the DM.
Okay.
Do I know either lore or history or even like random legend or stories about people who have dealt with these things?
Roll a history check.
So I'm like, I've been to at least 2 magical schools at this point. Why would none of them know?
don't think they have
But whether
care
they
about
know or not, I don't. I rolled a total of 4.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of things that you've encountered previously and working with Point Staff and Deidre that can kind of cause this kind of petrification, but pinpointing a specific one and how to counteract that, nothing's coming to mind.
Do you know of any stories or legends or knowledge on how to deal with them?
Well, I think you just kill them to deal with them, but do you want me to roll to see if I know any stories about them other than like what I've experienced?
I'm not going to make you roll again because we'll go based off of that prior one. What stories you encountered with were that try not to look directly at this creature. Try to maintain distance as best as you can, kind of thing. And that they usually come in pairs.
Distance, no eye contact. There's always at least 2.
Distance and no eye contact.
It's the gaze that causes people to... And I just, like, gesture at the statues.
This gives me some ideas, but... And you feel like the briefest moment of just like, oh, this is sad. This is sad. The reason why this is sad is because this is the kind of question that I would probably be like, hey, Cal, but Cal isn't here for me to ask. So now Blackstone is sad.
Aww. Missing their bestie.
Listen. Also, hi, Robo. How about this? With that kind of gesture around Blackstone, can you roll a perception check for me, please? Blackstone?
Did you roll? Sin.
Sin, did you roll?
No, I did not.
Oh.
What am I rolling?
Can you roll a perception check for me, please?
That's an 18.
18. Okay. As you are kind of taking in all of the other statues, the information you just got as well, trying to stay quiet at the same time, you notice off to the right, about 10 to 15 feet back, one of the statues kind of sparks something with you. You see what appears to be a slightly hunched over individual, seemingly is holding a spear with their right hand. There's a tea kettle to the side of them. It looks like they were mid-sip when they were petrified. Is wearing a lot of kind of armor all over. It's hard to tell the coloration just because they're literally stone right now. For what that's worth, that one is most intriguing to you.
What do I know or can recall about if someone is petrified or other things like this have happened, how to deal with them?
You know that there are several spells that can handle it. You also remember that there was something that Cal tried to do during the spirit reinvigoration, where they were trying to add certain elements of earth and magic together in order to counteract some of the problems that were happening.
The reason that I'm asking this
Sure.
question, so a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away where I keep up with my inventory,
Yes.
Cal was looking up a spell to, like, a spell to restore things, and I asked him to make me a copy of this spell.
Sure.
Is that something
Yes.
that I could try here?
Yes.
Okay.
So with this, just because it's been a while, and I'll send you the information after session today. It's not that it's necessarily a spell, but it's a special kind of magic that's used to counteract certain properties. So things like a petrification. That's something that is stone and hard. You would need something component-wise, such as like mud, water, dirt, mixing that together, along with a very basic kind of spell. It can be a cantrip of some kind of healing. If applied, can usually help in these instances.
Okay. So
Yes.
Okay, so what then I would do is, like, as quietly as I can, try to pick up a bit of the dirt in the woods where we are.
Sure. It's easy enough to do. There's dirt everywhere.
Because dirt is soft.
Yes.
I pick up a couple of leaves because leaves are soft.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea I'd like to try. I will also try to be careful. I'm not sure how well I'll do, but you know, that's what experimentation is for. It's science.
What are you doing?
That statue over there, doesn't this look familiar?
The one that's out of place? Yes, I think we should hit that one first.
Well,
We can use it as bait, maybe.
they're a hunched over individual. They're holding a tea kettle. They are in the middle of the woods.
It's quite unfortunate.
Did it? No, this isn't. Are you saying this to me as well?
Yes, this is like
Okay.
like a party-wide comms.
Oh,
Group chat.
Didn't Deidre say that their friend carried a tea kettle?
Oh,
The one that we're looking for.
I literally replayed the memory of the conversation with Talib.
Okay. Can I get a stealth check? Because now
From
he's starting to
everyone?
make some noise. Yes.
Ugh. Fuck me, I do that with disadvantage, y'all.
Don't forget you do have inspiration.
26.
Okay.
Do you need a stealth from me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna use an inspiration.
I'm gonna roll for the dwarves too as well.
I'm going to I would like to help Theodora with like stealthy things.
Okay.
What?
Because like I am a stealthy person.
Sure.
So what I'm going to do is I rolled a 17 on stealth. What I'm going to do is if you have things on you that make noise, I am going to try to hold them still and keep them from moving enough to make a significant amount of noise.
Yes.
So that just makes it a flat roll then?
Mm-hmm.
Thank God. Because my disadvantage was an 8. But
Ooh.
with the flat roll, that means I could just use my first roll,
Yes.
which is a 19.
Okay. Okay. I'm taking the average between you three and the 3 dwarves. So just so that is noted. Okay. You hear the movements from across the bank cease for a hot moment before continuing. Seemingly they're kind of looking around. They haven't looked in your direction yet. They haven't made their way over. But obviously this is a part of the forest where there's not a lot of noise. You don't even hear like critters cawing or owls hooting in the night. It's pretty quiet, so any noises you're going to make are going to be a little bit more reverberated.
And this statue's out in the open, or is it covered?
It's more in the back. You would be heading away
Okay.
from the bank and the creatures, but it is more out in the open. It's less covered.
Can I attempt to make my way toward that statue? And do I need to roll you another stealth to do that?
Let me check to see what April was going to do first, and then yes.
Well, I was gonna say, well, Blackstone, if you want to go, I'll stand here, and if it looks like it looks like it notices you, I'll make a distraction.
Well, I'm going to try to be stealthy. I would hate for you to make noise at this moment because I am not sure. Well, I need to test this to see if it works.
Well,
And
I'm only
if-
gonna make noise if you get caught, if it sees you.
Oh,
I'm gonna watch it, and if it sees you, it notices you, I'm going to run out at it.
Maybe just don't get caught.
I mean, that would be the best solution, but
I will do my very best.
All right. So you're going to
Good luck,
stealth
buddy.
over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you roll another stealth check for me now that you're moving?
What I'm going to try to do is channel my inner Theodora. I'm going to try to move like a hunter who is trying to sneak up on prey without being observed.
I love the character growth. Okay.
That is an 18 on stealth.
Okay. You move forward. Seemingly as the breeze is shifting the vegetation around you, the branches of brush, you move with it. So your footsteps and any noise you are making is covered as you head off in the direction of this peculiar looking statue. You do find yourself in front of them. You can see clearly now, this does appear to be a turtle that was caught off guard mid-sip of probably their tea when they were unfortunately statuetized. And you see the tea kettle still there. It did not get stoned. You can actually, as you get closer, you do get a small whiff of slightly decaying at this point leaves, lavender, things like that. This has clearly been sitting there for a while.
Okay. Then, I am going to try a thing.
Okay. What are you trying?
Since I, right, never minding like the note that we have here, because you were just like, Cal was trying to do a spirit thing. Let's try to make this a spirit thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like these leaves and stuff, I'm going to try to roll them into like a very crude paste.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it on the eyes of the turtle because, as far as I know, these are things that happen when these things look at you.
Sure.
And I'm going to try to channel spirit energy with the intent of trying to restore Weldor to, I guess the idea would be make this, like, if this is the person that it is, this is supposed to be, like, Deidre's friend.
Sure.
I want to try to restore him in the way that Deidre remembers him. So that is the intention I'm trying to put into it.
Sure. How many spirit points are you going to use?
How many am I going to use? Oh, this is that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are we where we're here? Oh no. Let's just do let's put 4 in here.
4? Okay. All right. And what does it look like as you are you've just put your kind of creation over the eyes of the turtle, and now you are channeling the spiritual energy that flows within you. What does it look like? What are you doing?
Like, I think because this is a restorative thing, like the energy signature I have is an indigo color, but I think things in the area, so like let's say everything like immediately next to where this statue and I are standing are like starting to like grow, or plants start leaning in the direction of the statue, trying to lend life to it.
Okay. There's a light that appears from where you put the concoction that you made on the turtle's eyes. And it's almost like a rainfall as this mist starts to overtake this statue. And you see the coloration change from a gray to brown and greens. As Duval, would you like to describe your character Weldor as they come back fully in?
No. Bye, everybody.
Damn.
No, of course.
The shortest lived guest
The
spot ever.
shortest. Oh, good. What a great cameo, guys. No. As the grayness of the statuesque figure begins to subside, as previously mentioned, just under 5 foot tall, appears hunched over, and is wearing this light green plate armor, skin of deep lime green with sort of shades of brown, light brown eyes, filled with wisdom, and there is the sort of the smell of the forest off his person. Seems older. You see age lines aplenty, and a slashing scar on his left cheek, almost down to his lip. And as he sort of blinks and looks around,
You must be as quiet as possible. Your enemies are still in the area.
looks around.
Weldor, you see in front of you now. Sin, can you describe what Blackstone looks like?
Blackstone is wearing leather armor and a mask. At this moment, his eyes are an indigo color because, magical shenanigans are happening. He's wearing a red hood and a matching red scarf, like from head to toe, like he just like covered in like cloth and pants and tunics and boots and things that make him kind of hard to see, except for like this mask and a pair of glowing eyes behind it. But I would also say, while this communication is happening, what you see is this kind of like an environment that looks like the environment outside. It's just kind of like a quiet and dark void with a bunch of stars in the sky, but like no other features, like no trees, no rocks, and a bit of grass. And it's just you and this figure talking to each other in open space. No one else is here.
And something that you also noticed is the little teapot is emblazoned with these gold and green in almost like engravings. You'd probably understand that there's a faint bit of magic emanating from it. And he sort of in his right hand is this simple, almost makeshift looking spear, kind of a 3-foot like wooden shaft with sort of an attached steel blade at the top, about maybe 8, like a few inches long. Sort of like in between, like a higher than, probably a little bit higher than a dagger, and he sort of like feels it in his right hand, and that faint glow off of the teapot begins to grow into this, not fortunately no sound, but this yellowish green flash as what was once a teapot is now this large glowing tower shield. He just nods to you.
It seems that you ran afoul a basilisk. There are a pair of them. I would say, by my estimate, 100 or so feet away from this very spot. It seems that they are perhaps hunting. It also seems that you might not have been the only person to run afoul of their powers.
The small teacup that they were sipping out of is actually in the hand of where the spear is, and he goes to sip it, and you kind of see him like kind of look at it with a frown, and then sip it anyway.
It seems that you've been here for a few days.
Weldor, it tastes disgusting. This tea has been sitting for the last 3 weeks. You actually, like, several critters have kind of crawled into it as well, so you're getting some protein. But yeah, no, this has been sitting for a while.
He'll down it anyway.
Sure.
And then sort of just at a whisper. Well, ain't y'all just a side for sore eyes?
Are your eyes sore? I am very apologetic for that.
Not particularly. Being turned to stone is a bit of a surprising, restful nature.
At some point when we're probably in relative safety, I would like to ask you exactly what that sensation is like. In the meantime, my friends are back in this direction.
He'll nod and go to follow.
Okay. Theodora.
Clink, clink, clink.
All right,
clink,
roll stealth.
Clink. You're the only one at disadvantage, Theodora. Yep, natural one.
Okay.
It begins.
What I imagine happening is you start to move. You're still getting that kind of... It's like if you've held a position for way too long.
Too much yoga.
Your armor creaks loudly. And Theodora and Aurea, you hear it almost sounds like a thunderclap as, like, Weldor, you take a step forward, and for a moment your leg gives out for just a hot second, and you kind of instinctively bring your teapot and spear closer, which
shield
makes
now.
which makes this cacophony of noise and light happen. From behind your spot, Oria, because I imagine you were still keeping watch, the light and the noise does permeate across, and the creatures begin moving in your direction. They still have a river to pass, but the river is not very wide. It's only about 10 or so feet before they will be in range.
Let's
I need
make
everyone to
haste.
roll initiative.
Ironically, I had advantage on this.
Sorry, bestie.
I rolled a natural 20 and a natural 1.
Oh.
I also rolled a natural 20.
Let's go.
Hey!
But it's cool. Cleric life. I go last. That's how it works. So
That's
it's all good.
21.
Wait a minute, you roll an initiative at disadvantage?
Oh wait, no, I didn't. Sorry, I forgot. I literally just said I had advantage, didn't I?
Yeah. So you got
Never
a
mind.
20.
So natural
So
20.
you crit.
Yeah, I crit, baby. Let's go.
Nice.
Woo! The 2 disadvantaged people crit.
All right, so it's Theodora, then it is Weldor. All right.
I'm a 13.
I got 24.
Damn. All right.
Damn.
I didn't crit, but I got a 19 plus 5.
I love that we crit and Oria still goes before us.
I'm gonna because
Next
Theodora,
slide.
you rolled a nat 20, correct?
Yes, I have
Okay.
21 total.
I'm gonna give you
Me too.
because I want to actually treat this as, yes, Oria will have the full move first, but I'm gonna give you a bonus little thing. If there is something you want to do right now that would be the equivalent of like a bonus action or something, you would be able to do that because I do want to honor that.
Oh,
And then it'll be
bonus action. What can I do as a bonus? I guess I'll just shift as my bonus action since we took a short rest and I can do that
Yep.
again.
That sounds
So I'll just do that and give myself some temp HP and up my armor class.
Okay. All right. Oria, you are up. Theodora, you are on deck. Then it's Weldor, the creatures, then Blackstone.
Weldor also got a nat 20.
Oh, that's right. Weldor, what would
wanna
you
go
like to
first.
do now with this? Again, it would be more of a bonus action.
That's perfectly fine. As they're moving, how so they were 100 feet away.
Yes.
They're moving before we rolled initiative. How far is that away?
They haven't like fully started moving in your direction. They've only taken a couple of steps.
Okay.
So we're still looking at 95 to 100 feet away.
Got it. Okay. There is another flash of this green energy in the air, and you see this large see-through spectral tea bag just appear in the air as Wilder casts spiritual weapon.
Sounds good. All right. Now, Oria, it is your turn as you see all of this happening very quickly.
Even if I dash, I won't make it there.
Mm-hmm.
What's between me and it?
The river. The river and lots of vegetation.
How does holding my action work? Do I get my whole action or do I just get part of it?
I believe it's your whole action.
But I lose my bonus action.
Correct.
That's high flurry of blows.
And it takes your reaction to trigger it.
Yeah. So it'd be a one and done.
I hate this. I can't make it even if I dash. I'm going to... I can throw that? I'm gonna run. What's the range of that? That has a range of 60 feet.
Okay.
That's still, so wait, 6. That'll make it. Okay, I'm gonna run 40 feet. I'm gonna throw daggers at it.
Okay. All right. So you're running, and I will say at this point you're right at the edge of the river. Are you going to take
Yeah.
to the air to get to the kind of the halfway point?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of run and fly up.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, if you would like to roll to hit, go
Ooh,
ahead.
This is a good dice. 26 for the first one.
Okay,
Nice.
that hits.
19 for the second one.
Let's go.
That hits as well.
Okay. Oh, I had darts too. Oh, I threw daggers. I'm out of daggers now. Well, I rolled 6 for one and 7 for the other.
All right.
Hey.
And are you attacking the same one or are you attacking both?
I'll just go for the same one.
Okay. All right. So you see the slightly larger of the two is lumbering in your direction as you just let loose. You can actually hear the wind whipping as your daggers make a contact, hitting just where some of the spikes are pulled away. Seemingly finding a sensitive area on its neck where it's not covered and there's less armor, as the two daggers sink in and you hear it give a bellow. It's still moving forward though, but yes.
Yeah, I assume that.
All right.
That's my action. That's everything.
Okay.
Now it's just stand in the way.
Weldor, you are up.
Oh, okay. So, as they begin to head our direction, I believe what you did was quite rude. So, turnabout is fair play. And he sticks his Yukawa, his sphere, in the dirt,
Mhm.
and there is a glowing glow of this yellowish green, like spectral lightning that seems to just apparate into a sphere. This is going to guiding bolt.
I love
120 feet away from is the ring on that.
Alright.
And that's a ranged spell attack. That's pretty good. 28 to hit.
it. That hits. Are you hitting the one that you see Oria kind of, or rather you don't know it's Oria, but you see a fairy being kind of fly up and seemingly making 2 attacks on?
Looking fairy. I've been holding on to that one in a while. Is which one's closer? Whatever's closest to us.
The slightly bigger one. They haven't made their way across the river yet, so the
That-
one that
that
Oria
one.
just injured.
That one.
Okay.
Oh my god, I rolled all 5s. That's incredible. 20 points of radiant damage.
Ooh, let's go.
And there's a spectral green spotlight on top of it. And then I will use as my action, bonus action, move spiritual weapon over to the other one
Okay.
and attack it.
All right, go for it.
Ha! Natural 1. Can't have it all. Lots of 1s today.
It's you again. You're still getting used to movement, and that is both physical and the mental capacity and strength to kind of shove your spiritual weapon over to the other one. You're able to move it over, but kind of overcalculate the hit, missing it.
Yeah, it sounds like as it hits because I'm assuming it's also dirt on the other side.
Yeah.
It's like the sound of like a what's the like a big metal weight.
Yeah.
Hitting the sand.
You
and
actually
grit,
see it
etc.
colliding with sand, and I'll say this too, because right now they're at the point where the pillars are, where the entrance to this kind of area, it connects with part of the pillar, and you see a small section of the pillar actually peels off with the hit from the spiritual weapon. So, all right.
And 20 feet of movement, I'll just move towards the
Towards it?
bad
Okay.
guys.
All right.
That's me.
The 2 basilisks are up.
I got skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry, Deodora. I'm so sorry. I had you flipped over in the initiative. I apologize, Deodora. Go ahead. I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay. Well, I can't get to them this turn, so what I'll do is Deodora will pull out her rarely used crossbow.
Sure.
I was joking, but I was correct.
Deodora pulls her gun out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll pull out my gun.
Yeah. fuck. Yeah, just gonna shoot to like try to give Oreo some like covering fire.
Sure. Okay.
No, that one's not gonna hit.
If it's the one that was guiding bolted, you have advantage.
Oh, yes, that's
You
right. Okay, try again. Oh, that's better. Okay, that's gonna be an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Fuck yes. Okay. All right, I'll do my second attack. And that's a crit.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, you should go more often.
Okay, that's going to be 12, 14, 17 damage.
Okay. As your crossbolt shoots and again finds purchase just above its shoulder, where in between some of the spikes, or you have a better view, but you see this gray kind of liquid starting to creep out of where the hits are coming in. Its eyes seemingly flaring up, going from a dull green to now it's almost like a grayish fire from its eyes. You've definitely pissed this thing off. But good job. All right, Theodora, it is looking bloodied. So doing a fair bit of damage there as well. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No.
Okay. All right. Now it's the basilisk's turn. The one that's more injured is going to use its full movement to head out of the pillars, getting into range of the river. I would say just at the edge of it. Just so I know, did you fly halfway across the river, or are you just at the edge of the river on your side? Where are you at?
I would have gone as far as I could have. So
Okay.
40 feet flying towards them.
Okay. All right. Are you staring at it?
No, because I was told not to look at it.
Okay. All right. It is going
So
to...
I'm trying to watch its shadows.
Sure. Which...
Just throwing daggers cross-eyed.
They're big. I was like, man, if I should...
Well, and the moon is out, so the shadows being cast are a little bit
Wait,
stronger.
it's nighttime?
Yeah.
I thought it was daytime.
No,
Ah!
it's nighttime. You guys were all settling in for a long
Oh, yeah,
rest.
we were trying to sleep.
Yeah, you were trying to rest. So the moon is
Damn it.
giving you that added bonus, which again,
Okay.
I think fits perfectly with you being a moon fairy, so moon monk. So I think that works perfectly. Okay. It is going to use the rest of its movement to start crossing the river. Is not going to do anything else. Its kind of partner is also going to use its full movement. So at this point now, they are both fully across the river.
Do I get an opportunity attack on one?
They did not move within your range. They kind of moved just adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah. Seemingly they are a little bit wary of you and the amount of damage that's happening right now. So they didn't move directly towards you. They're kind of moving almost like they're trying to circle you. Think of like a shark circling its prey, things like that. All right, that takes it for the full. They are now on the riverbank where you all are. Then it is Blackstone, then Aurea, you are on deck.
Okay, so I guess I have a question about whether or not this is something I could do. I would like to find, because I'm assuming on this side of the river, the people that we brought here are still here.
Yeah.
And I have no idea where they are.
They're still in that outcropping. I will say this, with your passive perception, you can see none of them have daggers or anything.
Right, are they basically, are they out of harm's way?
Yeah, the outcropping is covering them. Yeah.
Okay. Then I will head over to, well, let me see, I will try to help my friends. The way that I will help them is which one, I would like to take aim
Sure.
at the one with the guiding bolt.
Okay. You moved that
it's
to
not-
the
it's
other
not-
one, correct?
It's already gone
Oh.
because of the advantage
Got
was
it.
already used. Because it's the next attack.
I think you mean the spiritual weapon. Is that what you're referring to?
Oh, no, I really did mean the guiding bolt, but
Okay.
if that effect is gone, then we won't worry about
I
it.
use the guiding bolt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the
Um,
one that
it's
was
over to the next
harmed,
attack,
the
so.
one that was harmed was the larger of the two basilisks.
okay. Is this? Okay, it is not. Then I am going to. I guess we're just going to go and shoot a short bow at it.
Okay.
So, whichever one I think is probably the most harmed at this point.
That would be the larger of the two, yeah.
I don't think anybody's in melee range of that thing.
Ori is close, but just outside of it, yeah.
Okay.
Ori is about like 6 or 7 feet away, just out of the range.
Of course. Okay. So that is a 14 to hit this wounded basilisk.
Just misses. Your arrow shoots off, and you hear a spring as it connects with some stone that's just on this side of the bank. You're trying to be careful to not look at it, taking Deodora's warning, and instead just missing where it had just previously stepped.
Okay. I don't think I get extra attacks over here. So, for right now, I would like to then use cunning action to take a bonus action to hide.
Okay. You can easily do that. There are a number of statues and pillars and stone and brush around you that you can hop into or behind.
I'm going to hide in the brush then.
Okay. You're gonna Dead by Daylight it in the brush. Yes.
I'm gonna hope that that red light passes right by me.
Yep. Sure. All right. We are back at the top of the order with Aurea, and then Deodora, you're on deck.
Okay. Now I'm going to close that 6 or 7 feet. I won't punch it. Well, actually, I'm going to hit it with my staff first.
All right.
I muted myself on accident. I hit a button. I got excited. The staff comes flying around for the first one. It's a nat 20. That's a nat 20. That's what the fist is, the nat 20.
All right.
So first one is a 28.
Okay. Yeah, that definitely hits. I will say this as you're hitting this with your staff, right? And you're not looking.
I'm behind it now, so I'm looking at the back of it. I'm looking at his butt.
Okay, you moved to the behind of it. Okay.
Well, they passed me, right?
They were to the side. They had just moved to the side of you. So they were...
Well, okay. Well, if it's only 7, then I'll just kind of go behind it. So I'm looking at its back.
All right. Okay.
And what is crit?
So it's your max dice plus one more roll.
Does the modifier doesn't double, right?
Correct. It does not.
Okay, so then that's only 15.
Okay. 15 points of damage as your staff ricochets off the back.
Hit it with the back of this. Oh.
Yeah, go on.
That's an 18 to hit.
18 does hit.
I got a plus 8. That was a 10. That's 9 points of damage.
Okay.
How's it looking?
Still up.
Let go of the staff, let it fly around, flurry of blows, punch, punch.
Do it, do it, do it.
Because we short rested.
Yep.
That 14?
14 just misses.
Okay.
It ricochets off the spikes. You see small sparks kind of flying off as the two things hit.
Does a 16 hit?
Just hits.
Okay. And then that's a fist. That's just unarmed, so that's a d6. That's 10 points of damage.
Okay.
How's it look?
Still up.
Stunning strike.
All right.
So I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, which I'm sure this is real good at.
It's actually not.
Oh, okay. Then roll below a 13, I dare you.
Natural one.
It is stunned.
So seemingly like the prey it hunts, you see the ligaments and muscles tense up as its frozen half mid-turning its head to turn in your direction, Oria, but not fully there yet as everything locks up. Stopped
that's-
into place.
Will be the end of my turn.
All right. Theodora, you are up.
How far away is this big one?
The
from
big
me?
one, both of them now are not that far away from you, about like 30 to 40 feet. You can see the one that is slightly larger has been taking the majority of the blows.
Yeah.
The smaller of the two has not really been taking too much damage. But they are about, I would say, 30 to 35 feet away.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my full movement to get over to the one that's stunned, and I will put my crossbow away and slash at it with my great sword,
Okay.
and I get advantage because it's stunned or whatever.
Are you staring at it?
I'm looking at its eyes.
You're looking at its eyes?
I'm not looking at
Not
its
looking
eyes.
at, but are you looking at the creature as a whole?
Oh, I thought it was just if you look at its eyes, it would.
I thought it was
be-
the whole creature.
I'm pretty sure it has to look at you.
I thought it was eye to eye.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Officially?
Not a big deal. We'll play it off
Uh,
that. That's fine.
April, you Google. Well,
It's
That's what I was asking what the official monster was. Basilisk? For official?
Yeah, basilisk.
it's a basilisk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does a that's a 19 to hit
That hits.
on the first attack, and then second attack is gonna hit because that's a 24.
Yeah, definitely hits.
Okay, that's so 46.
I believe the official verbiage is averting your gaze. You have to avert your eyes.
Got it.
And it's on its turn.
Mhm.
If
On
a
its
creature starts a
turn,
turn within
okay.
30 feet of the basilisk and two of them can see each other, basilisk can force the creature to make a DC 12 Constitution save.
Yep.
Yep, that sounds good.
So you can still force it.
Okay. So do you want me to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank y'all. Sorry. These things are tricky to use.
That's a 24.
They're fun though.
Yep,
They're
that
so
still
fun.
hits. Yeah.
There's the
No,
verbiage for
24
petrifies a gaze.
con.
Oh, con
24
save.
con save.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are able to shrug it off. No problem.
Okay, great.
You can avert
Um,
your eyes at the start of your turn to avoid the saving throw.
Yeah, I have this stat block up. It helps. I never know, especially with how people interpret some of these rules. That's why I was like, let me just check with everybody.
Okay, that's 19 damage to it.
All right, and this is the larger of the two. The
Yeah.
one that's done. Sing us that swan song, please.
I carve its eyes out,
All right, and you're
and then
using...
let its brains float through the idol.
What weapon are you using?
My great sword.
All right, your great sword kind of just cuts across. You see this black ichor kind of popping off on both directions before it falls to the ground. As it falls, you can actually see parts of it are turning into stone and rocks that are around. Its mate yells in anger and turns to look in your direction, but we'll cover the
I
rest
avert my-
later.
I avert
Yeah.
my eyes.
And Jordan, I forgot to roll for it. I popped out of existence, but nothing happens.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Anything else, Theodora?
I'm gonna action surge.
Do
Why
it.
not? Let's go.
Let's
That's
go.
not gonna hit. Or well, 14. I think I'm gonna use a precision superiority die to make it a precision attack to see if I can hit.
Go for it.
18 to hit.
That hits.
Great.
Great stuff.
And then the second attack is gonna be that's a 26 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's the wrong die, sweetie. That's a D8. If this is a D6, relax. I got really excited.
It happens.
Nina plus whatever 15 plus 8 is. 23
Yes, that.
damage.
Okay. And again, you're using your greatsword,
Yes.
just carving this thing up. I'm assuming averting your gaze as you're going, like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm just like slashing like
Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. Theodora, if there's nothing else you would like to do.
I'm good.
All right, Weldor, you are up.
Search your weapon.
All right. Go for it.
25 to hit.
25 hits.
I hope so. Where are you? Yeah, there you are, buddy. Terrible. 6 points of force damage.
All right. As the teabag lands on its head, kind of taking that radiant damage.
And is it in the river right now?
No, it's crossed the river. It's now on the side where the rest of you all are.
Okay. Can I get within 15 feet of it with my movement?
How much movement do you have?
I only have 20.
You can get pretty close. Yeah.
Pretty close? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's perfectly fine. Does that take me into the river at all?
No, it'll still,
Okay, that's fine.
What
So
I
on the other side?
imagine to set the scene. You
Yeah.
were all the way over here. They were all the way over here. The outcropping
Totally
was
fine.
in the middle, and the river was over here, like an additional 20 to 30 feet. So yeah, you can get close.
Got it. He just like he moves up his full movement, and both of his hands sort of start in the middle, and he takes out this necklace that he's wearing underneath his armor, and it's a small, what appears to be like a wooden carving of an owl bear,
Yes.
and he just says, "Be with me," and there's a loud flash again of this familiar now green, actually this time deep green energy, 15 feet around him.
Mhm.
It begins to spin around, and apparating in the air, you see an owl bear, and then again a white wolf, and then an owl bear, and another white wolf, and another, and another, and another, as surrounding him on all sides as he casts Spirit Guardians.
Yes.
Surprise, Robo.
Just because you have an owlbear doesn't protect you.
Hey. Anyway.
love that.
I'm just.
Robo's not here to protect you.
Love it.
Not yet. Anyway. And he's going to concentrate on that. And make your way then. That's it.
You hear in your mind as the spiritual guardians of owlbears and wolves and other creatures, for a moment, you feel almost like a hand on your shoulder. And a familiar voice saying, "I'm always with you," as Ashura is helping you out today. All right. Anything else, Weldor, you wish to do?
If it gets within range, you got a saving throw to roll.
All right. Instead, now it's the one remaining, which has been taking some not so fun hits. It is going to try and make a claw attack against Deodora. The first one is natural 20,
Okay.
and the second one is a 22 to hit.
Okay.
Okay. It's going to be, as it kind of gets up on 4 of its legs and you see the 2 kind of claws coming at you, that's going to be a total of, ooh, I rolled really well. Oh no. Oh boy. 32 points of damage from these 2
Okay.
Jesus.
swipes.
Okay.
As it just
I look
comes.
fine. Theodora looks fine.
Looking very angrily and is seemingly trying to hit you to lower your sword and get you to look at it as it's happening. But that's it for it. Blackstone, you are up. Oria, you're on deck.
Okay, so we will come back to that to a certain question later, but
Yeah.
Can I see these creatures from the bushes?
You can see the one remaining creature from the bush. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let's do this. Do. Okay, that is a 20 to hit with a short bow.
That hits.
Okay. That is 6 piercing damage.
Okay. Are you adding your sneak attack?
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, you
can
are
I do
hidden,
that?
and you have Diodora and Oria are both right there, so that would be sneak attack. It does not know you were there.
Okay. Ooh, okay. Then let's add something to that.
I was
6,
gonna
shall
say.
we? So we're gonna add another 15 to that 6, so that's 21 damage with that short bow.
Woo! Woo. Imagine you see this thing has just lunged at Diodora and has kind of exposed its underbelly. You find the shot as the arrow just connects, going right into its upper portion of its chest. You see more of that kind of gray black ichor seeping onto the ground. You see it actually starting to petrify some of the flowers and vegetation as its blood connects with that. Awesome. Anything else, Blackstone?
I'm going to yet again hide. We're gonna hide.
Sure. So what I imagine is you literally like popped out and like hid real quick.
It's
Shoot
exactly
off screen to
that.
reload.
Perfect. All right, Oria, you are up.
Well, I'm mad. It just hit my friend. I popped back in existence. Luckily, it ran to us. So I pop up behind it and grab the stick as it comes flying around and hit it at the back of the head twice.
Okay.
First one's a dirty 20.
Yep.
The second one's a 15.
Yep.
Yes, that +8.
You don't even have to roll, and I'm gonna say for flavor's sake, because Diodora is also there, if you so choose. How do you, Oria, or you and Oria and Diodora like to finish this thing off?
Holding hands.
Holding hands. I'm on the other side of it above its head. I think copying what Diodora did with the first one was ripping out its eyes, but from behind, I take my staff and go pop, pop in the back of its head so both its eyes fall out.
I love it.
I spear it through its little ear holes.
I love it. All right. And with that, you see this creature crumbling in front of you. And again, turning into bits of stone, its teeth remaining, its spikes remaining. And with that, we are out of initiative. As there's now a hush over the battlefield.
Did you make a new
That's
friend? Oh, sorry.
That's okay. It was at the same time. I think that one's on me. My apologies.
Oh well, I suppose if it's all the same to you, I'm not sure if any of us are the people that we should be apologizing to. And I kind of just gesture at the statues that litter the area that we're in. Is there any way to help these people?
Jordan, were those statues there before? Okay, gotcha.
Muted on stream, sorry. Yes. You can see that bits of ivy and vegetation has kind of overgrown a large portion of these. I'm not even gonna make you roll for it just because you've been here for a while. You can tell that these things can range from the time they've been here from a month to it looks like some have been here for almost a year or two.
And do I recognize any of them?
No, none of them look familiar. Some of them look like actual statues, to be clear. Some of them do look like whatever this spot was, whatever this ruin kind of small outcropping of a hamlet. It served a purpose, and there were statues here. But between the 10 to 15 kind of statues that are around you, probably about 4 or 5 look like they are individuals that got caught up in the same kind of petrification as you.
It's possible, but depending on the age, I'm not sure if that means the incantation or restoration needs to be a bit more potent. It's a hypothesis at this point.
I walk over to one of the statues and try to mend it.
Okay, which one are you trying to mend? Are you going for the one that had its shoulder seemingly broken off?
Oh, if there's a statue with pieces missing,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to mend it. Because also, I will say, I think you'll enjoy this part.
Yeah.
I am at a point that I am also feeling itchy to mend things.
Yeah, I'll allow that. You see this light kind of happening as bits of stone kind of shake themselves from the vegetation and ivy and start to kind of piece together. So yes, you will be able to get 4 spirit points back, Blackstone,
Hey,
through your mending. Nothing else seems to change, but as you are doing this, you can actually see like the threads kind of wrapping it around and almost like glue stitching at least the shoulder part back together. The rest of the arm is still missing, but at least the shoulder is back in place.
I suppose we'll have to repair some of these before trying to, I suppose, what's the opposite of petrification? Whatever that is, doing that.
Restoration is probably a smart word for it. Speaking of that, has anybody heard? Anyone need any assistance with that?
Oh, I'm fine, but Deodora might. So I point to Deodora. I'm gonna go get my daggers back and loot these bodies.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
I am also, well,
You heard my
Oria.
friend. Okay, go heal her. I'm going away now.
I don't got
Oria,
healing.
would
Here,
you-
I druid craft you a flower. Feel better.
would you like me to help you with getting your daggers back?
Oh, I was just gonna pull it out of its body. See if there's anything else in here. Poke it.
It's largely stone. You can see that there are a number of spikes that were on its back and teeth, as well as its eyes, which have dulled for the one that the eyes are still intact. The other one got pretty wrecked from Theodora's blade, but the ones where they popped out, you do see they're kind of like stone eyes, which I would gather you're grabbing kind of carefully if you do decide to grab.
I use a stick and I poke them and I put them in little bags.
Roll a quick investigation to see how much kind of material you can gather from these 2 creatures, with assistance from Blackstone, I'm assuming.
Jordan, I was actually going to ask you,
Yes.
do any of my tool sets include things like vials or beakers or things?
It would
that
make sense for
contain-
you to have some, yeah.
Okay, since these creatures are bleeding, I'm going to see if I can try to collect it.
Okay. You also roll investigation to see how much you can gather. Deodora and Weldor, while that's happening, what are the 2 of you doing?
I clink over to Deodora. Deodora, pleasure to make your acquaintance.
It's nice to meet you too. You're Weldor? Deidre's friend?
Oh, you've met Deidre.
She sent us out here to look for you. Because she hadn't heard from you.
That's mighty nice. Seems I owe all of you a pretty decently sized debt. let's start
Oh.
clearing that ledger then. And he kind of like touches your shoulder and casts Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Okay.
I rolled terrible. But it's still 13 points of healing.
Okay.
Oh, that works. Brings me back almost to full. That's fine.
Nice. And he'll follow up really quick. Sorry, Sin.
No, go ahead.
With sort of like as your wounds close, and then he's like extends the energy out and around him, and he's gonna cast Aid on all three of you, which gives you a hit point maximum, and your current hit points increase by 5 for the next 8 hours.
Ooh. Oh, damn.
Amazing. All right. Well, sorry. Aurea and Blackstone, what did you roll for your investigation?
18.
18?
12.
12. Aurea, you're being especially careful. So I think between the two of you, since you're both working on this, you're able to procure between the two basilisks 24 teeth, 6 spikes, and 2 eyes.
How many eyes?
2. You also pick up as well, it looks like one of the claws, like nails, is still intact. The rest of it is largely turning into stone and kind of steaming. Sin, I know you as Blackstone were also looking at vials. You're able to procure about 2 vials worth of blood. As Weldor and Deodora are healing, the only other noises that you can hear is slightly comical. It's the crying dwarves that have been staying put in the outcropping as they have had no weapons.
I forgot they were even here.
They
That
had
was-
no weapons, no armor, nothing. You brought them to the field. So they stayed out of it.
I whistle for them.
But you just hear Gerald, who has been he was the bald dwarf that did not give a fuck the fact that they stole shit from you. You can see he's trying to put a good face on, but he's crying. There's solid tears and just trying, why the fuck are we here?
Language.
Who the fuck are you? Looks over at you, like pointing, looking just completely upset about absolutely everything that's happening right now.
I summon a mage hand and just give him a gentle, like, flick on the forehead and go, what did he just say?
Y'all are mean.
That is incredibly untrue.
If there is an expression, if you could read expressions through a mask, all you would get is the vague feeling of, are you serious right now?
Yeah. No, it's fine because Deodora's standing like slightly behind Blackstone with that expression on her face like, you robbed us. What do you mean?
We didn't hurt y'all. We just took your stuff.
Did we hurt you?
Right now, emotionally, mentally, yes.
You want to make it physically?
No.
I pull out, like, one of these. Again, no one is probably going to see it except for Deodora and Aurea. How about spiritually? As I, like, twirl an arrow between my fingers.
I'm cleaning basilisk blood off of my sword as I stare at this fucker.
Well, I'm not sure who you lot are, but perhaps we could settle our differences over some tea.
And Weldor, you get a better image of them now. There's 3 dwarves. There's one that's completely bald and has been crying. This is Gerald, seemingly. There is a blonde one, which kind of like really short kind of hair, no beard, is just kind of shaking slightly with his hands kind of clasped in fear and surprise. Hasn't said anything. And then there's a red-haired bearded dwarf. This one is Anders. Of the three, Anders is the one that's holding, because I've been rolling like checks to see how well they do in terms of emotionally. They seem to be holding like the most strong in regards to like not crying, no other emotion. Just, if anything, there's a slight twinkle of like curiosity with them. Just watching you all in action.
I feel like Diodora sort of leans over to Weldor and like points at the redhead and says, "That's the only one we like."
Duly noted. And he'll kind of reach into a small pouch and take out enough small tea mugs for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sentinel Shield flashes back into a teapot, and that off smell that you smelled earlier is now a clearly freshly steepened lavender tea with like a hint of like nutmeg, and he like pours it kind of like a bartender, like and begins to hand it out to anyone that's interested.
Should we be drinking tea here? Should we be making? Is it safe to make a camp here?
Safer than it was a few moments ago, at least.
Well, from what I can tell, this is the safest place in the woods, and well, it's significantly safer now because we don't have creatures trying to turn us into stone at the moment.
Okay, then I guess we should just make camp then?
I feel like wandering, if these are the kind of things that prowl these woods, wandering further into them before daylight might be dangerous.
I love you, Fair. What were you trying to say, Diodora?
I forgot.
I looked at you just as that happened.
I was like, yeah, I said it, and then I was like, oh, I'm fucking muted. And then immediately everything fell out of my brain, so it's fine.
Amazing.
Oh, no.
It wasn't important.
Okay. You all then, if I understand correctly, you're gonna set up camp for a long rest? Okay. All right, and as all of you begin to make camp, I think now is an amazing time to take a break. So, we're gonna take a quick 10 to 12 minute break, get some water. Please go and enter that giveaway. We are giving away 2 of the TTRPG bundles for trans rights in Florida. So make sure to enter that in. Again, Fluffy, thank you for running the giveaway.
Yay.
And we will be back shortly.
One quick thing before we go.
Sure.
Jordan?
Yes.
Anyone that imbibed in the tea, it is the same as the calm emotion spell.
So you
are
tried to
willing
brainwash
drink
us. I see what's
No.
happening. You just walk in our camp, just save you at night. Let me brainwash these bitches real quick.
Wow.
You know something? I'm absolutely having 2 glasses of tea from Weldor.
Wow. All
I
right. And
love it
with
here.
that,
It's great.
we'll be back shortly.
It's actually a banishment spell specifically on April.
See you all in a few minutes.
Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey. It's a brand new day. On the South Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey. Heroes on their way. Fighting together against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle champions, adventure never ends. Idle champions, get your wallet there. Idle champions, you will say it again. Idle champions.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 Games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Balakor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
It's almost like when you smell something baking in the kitchen. It's the identity of this cheesecake again. Okay.
Okay, so
it's just kind of slowly wafting up, and you
Basically-
see it has like a hole in it. The soul of the cheesecake has been hurt, essentially. That's what it's like.
Okay,
you just
so-
hurt the soul of the cheesecake.
like, I feel like what we have coming out of here is like the literal.
We got him, boys.
I'm dead. I'm crying.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you were able to get up, get a drink, stretch, and join that giveaway because we're going to be pulling two winners by the end of the episode. So go ahead and enter that in now. We are going to get back into our episode. So if you are just joining us, the party has kind of found themselves amongst the ruins, kind of in a random spot. They were able to cipher out that one of the statues from around them seemingly was their missing person that Deidre, as well as some other friends, had asked to be found, Weldor, the Tortle Life Cleric. A battle ensued where the party had to take on two basilisks that seemed to be guarding this kind of region. And they came out of it victorious as Weldor gives everyone tea to settle in for the evening. Now, at this point, the moons are high in the sky. There's not a cloud or anything. Are you all building a campfire, or are you leaving it without that kind of light to warm you all with?
How cold's it? What's the temperature?
I mean, it's not freezing. It's a brisk, probably like in the 60s, 70s.
Oh, man. I feel like if we light a fire now, it's a trap.
It's up to you.
I light a fire.
Okay.
Why not?
Fire comes into play as you all settle in for the evening. Who is taking...
Weldor will...
Oh, go on.
Actually, right on cue. I've had quite a long nap. I'm totally fine with taking first watch.
Is anyone joining Weldor with first watch?
Should we at least tie them up? Pointing at the dwarves. They did rob us last time we were asleep.
I forgot they were here. Again.
We just tie them to the tree over there.
I feel like that's maybe excessive.
I look at them and I look at the situation and I say, probably a little bit more cheery than I should be at this moment. Well, based on my calculations, their odds of survival, should they choose to do shenanigans and then try to leave, would be less than 1% at best.
Yeah, we just killed two basilisks in front of them. I don't think they're going to try it.
Well, the good news is there are additional basilisks, so we'll find additional statues in the woods.
That was cold. But why are you all traveling together? Especially if you only like one.
Because we feel that personal responsibility is a very important lesson for everyone to learn at any age.
Life lessons. Carry on then.
And then I look at them kind of pointedly and go, and they are certainly enjoying those moments as we speak. But if it helps for you to have a more complete picture, and Weldor sees, you know something, we can do this one of two ways. And you know something, I think this would be fair. So what I do is I create a silent image, and in the silent image, you see a replay of the last days, mostly happening in fast forward. So what you see is us going into another section of woods. You see all of us gathering around the campfire. You see Theodora taking a watch and Oria taking a watch, and you see Toby and Cal asleep in a tent nearby. You see sheep come into the picture. You see me wandering over to the sheep. And then the next day, everybody kind of talking and realizing stuff is missing, right, just gesturing at stuff. And then you see me walking over to a sheep and then making more gestures, us walking over into a house, the chaos that ensues as a fight happens at the front of the house. Most of this being from my perspective. You see me walk through the house into like an area that looks like a barn. You see me climb a ladder and find dwarves hiding in there. And then you see me and Diodora having a couple of words with them, and one of them looks like their hair is on fire for the briefest of moments. You see us dragging them out of the woods. You see us talking to this older lady. Like, there's a cauldron in the room. There's a table full of things. There is like people gesturing at things and scowling faces while people are just like, they're trying to like communicate with each other. There's some kind of exchange going on of some kind. There are some like kind of sad but like resigned faces for some things, especially among the 3 dwarves that we then drag out of the house and then carry off into the woods. And then you see right at the point that we walk into the woods and we see all of these statues and go, oh no, we have no idea what's happening. The whole thing turns into mist and dissipates.
Seems I'm caught up. And
these 3 are the people who took things while we were asleep at a campfire, potentially for noble reasons. All of them having different emotions about it. And that is probably why they remain alive and breathing. Possibly against my better judgment. And then I talk, and then I like to the one that was really nice, I just go, no offense.
None taken.
For Jacob's information, is Toby with us? Even though obviously Robo's like not here.
Toby's with
okay.
y'all. Kind of hanging back though. Toby, you see instead a small gnome, kind of seemingly is just making sure that the dwarves are okay. Every now and then, their owlbear kind of circling the area and just making sure that everything is fine. That you have kind of a safe little plot for your evening.
That dragonborn there, are they all right?
Oh, Cal's not with us, right?
Cal would be with you, yeah.
Okay, I thought
Yeah, I thought Cal left us
Cal
at the
was-
house.
No, Cal is still with all of you, also hanging back.
Got it. Okay.
Oh,
There's an
Scratch that
appropriate
then.
moment for Cal to be dropped off.
Yeah.
Look
Okay,
at Cal and Toby.
sorry,
You 2 are no help today. Staying back in the back, watching us, just hiding in the bushes.
Not to be.
That's what's
not to
happening right
be-
now. Is Oria's just like
Not to
yelling
be
at them.
rude, but like, where were you on that?
You know something? Knowing them, they would be like, listen, I was in the cave and protecting people, okay? Making sure that people weren't seen.
Amazing.
Oria, all three of these folks that we brought with us do in fact count as people.
When they do something worth saving, then they'll be people.
Damn. We should talk about that train of thought later.
No, just not all people, just these 3 people. They haven't done anything yet.
Okay.
Speaking of people, how did you all get acquainted with Deirdre?
We sit through another Blackstone movie.
Episode 2, we were supposed to hit play next.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the short version is I am a student of hers, and I became acquainted with everyone else during the Harvest Festival near Astera. So I believe Illipin was the place at the time, and through a series of very interesting events, I ran into these 2 very interesting and lovely people, and I've also ran into a friend I have not seen in some time, and gestures at Cal. As for Toby, well, we met him shortly after a somewhat unfortunate scenario at a library. You see an image of what looks like a dragon, but the dragon is made entirely out of wires. There's a lot of, but like this image, instead of being like an illusion, is just like a flash of mental images. And so what you get is like the sound, like you get like like cries of desperation. You see people bleeding on the ground. You see guards running in to try to help. And then you see Toby and the late Professor Pithyweather appear in a bubble. I do not describe them as the late Professor Pithyweather. I just say, like you see Pithyweather and Toby appear together in a bubble before also like working to dismiss this dragon.
You see Weldor's expression sort of morph into a frown.
Do you know this person?
Was that Penny?
Is it Penny?
Well, when
is that
we were traveling together, it certainly was.
Oh, is that what you call? Is that what you called them? Penny?
I believe people have
their name.
Well, Weldor, I believe, based on that reaction, there may be we'll need to spend an extended amount of time catching you up on things. Perhaps I will take that first watch with you after all.
Are they all right?
Well, they are certainly at peace at this moment.
I would like to take a patient defense.
I stopped picking my teeth with one of Pithyweather's scales.
The thing is, because I'm only a glowing pair of eyes to you, my other expressions are for the most part unreadable.
Is this like the land that we're sort of camping on? Is it like flat or are they like hills?
So the area you're around, it's pretty flat, minus this kind of wall of stone and ivy. And the river, on the opposite side, there's a slight hill where the kind of hamlet is. But otherwise, it's pretty flat. Save for every now and then there's some random rocks, stone, things like that.
He'll just find somewhere to sit and sort of kind of like assisting him with sitting down. Like he'll take his sphere, kind of stab it into the earth, and then sort of like lean into it. It seems to be lost in thought.
I then just kind of it seems that someone will need to tell him. So perhaps it might be best if I do.
I mean, if you want to, I don't mind telling him. I am the one who did the finishing blow.
Unfortunately, the issue therein is not only will we have to discuss this with Weldor, but that also means by implication he will have to hear some unfortunate news about Gremlynnart, and that also be difficult to deal with. But at the very least, in the case of Gremlynnart, he might be able to help.
Yes. Silver lining?
Well, considering what Pithyweather has done, I would consider it golden lining.
Sure. Well, if he gets upset, just wake us up.
I hope that will not be necessary. I would prefer, if we can, to preserve the lives of as many of Professor Wardington's friends as possible.
Okay. I think Theodora
But
gives
if
go
I
ahead.
do summon you, please act in order to help me, but please do not kill him. I could not bear having to tell Deidre we had to do that a second time.
Okay, yeah. No, I mean I wasn't thinking I would have to kill him, but I mean if you need me to grapple him or something, I can do that. But I wouldn't kill him unless, I had to.
Okay, then we are agreed, I think.
I think so.
Weldor, you're just watching everybody kind of sheepishly looking in between each other.
I was just about to ask,
yeah.
Jordan.
Just stare.
Thank you.
It just gets real quiet, and there's just this, we're all just staring at each other and pointing,
Yeah, just
yep.
slight look of constipation on their faces.
Well, I feel like you would also, Weldor, you would know this part because this is how you ran into me. When you first saw me, my eyes were indigo color. After that, they were a smooth cobalt blue for most things. They are currently that indigo color right now.
Yeah. If anyone's looking at him, he's essentially just been eyes. Even though he obviously can't hear the conversation, you get the sense he knows what's going down.
I do want to say, for clarification, Theodora does not look sheepish. Theodora doesn't feel ashamed that she killed Pittyweather. She was like, I did what I had to do, and if this dude, he seems nice, but if you want to fight, we can go.
Theodora is in her Kyoshi era at this moment. And I would do it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Theodora's like, "Nuck if you buck, honey. What's good?"
I fucking love it. Down. I tell you what,
if I do perceive Weldor looking at us, there is a feeling, right? The feeling is something like the anxious moment just before going, so what had happened was, that is the vibe that you get from Blackstone. Perfect. One of those, that this is what's happening.
Perfect. Which is great, because I was about to ask to roll the insight check on Blackstone, so that's great.
Oh, on Blackstone. I would say, Theodora, you would just feel it would just be and what? I'll tell him. What's it gonna do? Beat my ass?
Who gonna do me something?
Right. I mean, let's be honest. Weldor is black. He knows. He knows the deal.
Yeah. Sometimes a bitch has gotta die. Weldor, I'm sorry.
If only you knew.
So, as this awkward conversation is, or lack thereof, actually, now that I think about it, continuing. Weldor, you said you're going to take first watch. Who is joining? If anybody.
Who's joining Weldor for first watch?
Yeah.
Me.
Okay. All right. Why don't the both of you roll perception checks as everybody kind of slowly settles into some slumber, minus
I
Weldor
got advantage.
and Blackstone.
That perception is a 23 from me.
Okay. And Weldor.
And it's a 23.
Oh, I love it. I like to
Gang.
imagine you both kind of are looking up at the moon as everything kind of settles in the area that you're in. It's quiet. You think you have a really good spot to settle in for the evening as your watch begins.
About 30 minutes passes without one word before Blackstone goes, well, I suppose you will need a more complete answer to your question. And so, I can tell you, or I can show you.
Why don't you show me?
Well, okay. So, what you see is kind of like an aerial view of Blackstone being in town. And you see Theodora there. You see Aurea there. You see Cal walking into the area, and you see some person, possibly like a half elf, you're not sure, in front of a tea shop before a cart rolls in, and from the cart is emanating this dark purple energy. And then you see an encounter happen, but it's all in like a highlight reel. So you see like people taking out minotaurs. You see and then sending them running. You see the cart explode. You see Aurea's wings, because Aurea's like in one of the highlight reels. Aurea's flying. You see like their wings lose a bit of their color, and that she is unable to fly for a while. You see a highlight reel of us going into some underground area where there are boxes of magical wands with these crystals. You see what looks like a stream of like wispy white, it almost like looks like celestial energy with butterflies attached to it being sucked into the wands. You see a big room with a giant version of these crystals. You see the crystal like literally strike me dead, and then you see me reappearing in the arms of a crying cow moments later. You see the festival happen. You see the party talk to Greenwich. You see a discussion happening, and then you see Greenwich lending a pearl to the party. And then there is a skip of time. The skips of time are things like going through the festival and having parties. You see everybody gathering at the ceremony of the trees. You see everybody disperse. There's laughter. There's bonding, and then you see I believe you said Sam is an elf. Is Sam an elf? Halfling. Sam? Yep, halfling. You see a halfling enter the scene. I'm talking to the halfling. Cal's talking to the halfling. Everybody in the party is talking to the halfling. It's wonderful times. It's like a happy moment. And then a cloud, like a storm cloud, literally rolls into the scene. And in that scene, you see Sam evaporate. You get the idea that some of this are things that actually happen, and some of these are metaphors for things that have happened, right? To represent time lapse. You see a lot of talking to Deidre. Deidre looks sad. She looks heavy of heart and worn. And then you see us going to a library to try to find something out. You see us fighting the dragon and the things that happened there. Shortly after that, however, like a little title appears on the screen. Some days later, you see us at Greenwich's store again, but in the listen right here, okay? But also, what you see at Greenwich's shop sometime later is me walking toward the shop, having like a purple energy aimed at me and making a shield from it because I don't know what it is. Trying to figure out what that is. Going to Greenwich's shop and finding Greenwich in a really rough state. And that is a part where you can like more distinctly hear like the voices and people talking. What you find out is that I surmise at that time that she is under some kind of chaos spell. We go up to a room above the ground floor of her shop and we restore a book. And in the book, you see a scene of like me and Cal like leaning over the book and looking at the pages. And in the like superimposed over the background is this giant round symbol with a curve through it and thorns. There is a picture of Pittyweather, Greenwich, and Deidre in the room. Pittyweather is missing. You see Greenwich transform into this large gargoyle-looking creature. And you see everybody coming together to subdue her before Toby walks into the scene and goes, you know, like there's wild gesturing. And then you see an image of like us zooming out of the shop and into the school at Illipin, and then into a basement, and then in front of a giant amethyst crystal, or another one of those like giant crystals like the one that we saw in the basement, and next to it, a person glowing with like energy. It's like a bright purple energy. You see us talk to you see us talk to Deidre. Names with D's. You see us talk to Deidre. Deidre looks even more sad. She also looks very anxious. Like every other word she's talking about, she's looking around and making sure that looking around for who might be listening. And then she sends us somewhere. It's to Illipin. It's to the office of Pittyweather. And you see the confrontation that we have with Pittyweather. You see the very particularly gruesome way that it ends. You see us talk to, you see us go back to kind of let Deidre know what happened. You see the condition that Greenwich was in when we arrived. And you also see her the way that we left. And in the middle of that, you get these like snippets of conversation where Pittyweather sounds like a hostile person, a person who is convinced of the fact that they are going to win against this poor hapless party of heroes who have tried to usurp their plans. That does not necessarily go well for them. You also listen to good Lord, Deidre is her name. You listen to Deidre trying to explain to us kind of this is who Pittyweather was before they became this person that we had to confront. There is a name in my notes. I need to find it, but actually, let me see if I can find it real quick. There is a name that Pillyweather has on their tongue before they die.
I'm gonna give it to you because you did such an amazing job of rehashing.
Dude, so good.
Like
I am that player in your games. Y'all are welcome.
I was messing with you. Now I'm getting a little emotional. It's just kind of cool. The name is Belsarian. I'll pop it into chat.
Thank you. You hear the you hear the name, Belsarian will enjoy you. We come back to Deidre. We find Greenwich in the basement, and you get the impetus of what started us this way is that she tells us to go and find you in the service of trying to help with the condition that Greenwich is in.
Throughout that entire sequence of events, there's no emotion on Weldor's face at all.
What is going on in Weldor's mind at the time? At a surface level.
Great question. So I'm familiar with the spell. There is initially you're sitting in a sea of guilt with a seasoning of failure, regret, but it's all up here. And maybe that's because it's not new. It's been sitting behind his eyes, all of that, for what could be decades. And then the name Belsarian strikes a particular chord. And then there's a hint of frustration. But locked in.
When we get to the end of things, there's kind of an image, like a giant mural on a wall of Blackstone talking to Greenwich in a not transformed state with that giant symbol in the background.
Do I recognize that symbol? I know you sent it to me, Jordan, but does Weldor recognize that symbol specifically?
Roll a history check.
I'm not good at this. Oh, well, but the dice are maybe you are. 16.
Yes, you've seen the symbol before. There are ruins not far away from where you've been residing for the last 40 years. And on one of your excursions traveling one day, you came across it. It was on a section of stone that seemed to be think of Stonehenge, that circle, and then in the center was a tomb. And on the left side, you know it to always be facing west. It was a very small symbol of that.
There's also a moment in which you see in front of this mural, right? You, at least as far as Blackstone can see your form. And then you see another form. It is the same person wearing a red scarf, but their hood is down and their mask isn't on. So you see hair that looks like the color and probably somewhat of the structure of obsidian. And you see brown stony skin.
He sort of kind of shuffles in his makeshift seat and kind of leans on the sphere. Goddamn disappointment.
Well, that's everything I know, except for, of course, that one of the three dwarves here has a relative that has some form of, at least, incurable by natural means disease. So, well, that's all of the things.
Thank you for showing this to me.
But I gather that these are also people that you know. So, before things get more interesting, let's
He
say,
interrupts and just says, no, not people that I know. Family.
just because you said the word family unprompted, the whole scene comes up where you see Corbin using like the meager bit of life energy that he has to communicate the same concept to me.
Ari, Penny, Deidre, Strayer, and Leo, and myself. We go as far back in some cases, primary school, especially Deidre and I. Even though there was always this underlying tension, Ari competing with Greenwich, Penny, seamless semen bonds, and just this weakness, this barrier to progress. Always focusing on the next experiment, the next thing. We shared bloodshed, tears, and laughter on the road for decades. I tried many times to bring who I suppose you know as Pittywither back into the fold. After a while, it just stopped answering. I'm afraid that though this amazing gift that you have, which it is a gift. I always thought this day would come. And though my heart lies heavy, I have no issues with any of you. You did what you had to do.
There's a long pause before Blackstone goes, is this always a thing that happens with friends?
I don't believe so. Not in my experience, at least. Penny was a unfortunate exception, I suppose. We never did plan sort of our retirement activities. At least most of them didn't. Kind of frowns again. This Bilsarian. This is a name that's been on the wind to me for quite a while. I always figured that was the way to save Penny. Remove that from play, bring them back into the fold, but never could get my claws in them. What's the situation with Ari?
Do you mean Greenwich?
My apologies, yes.
I feel that, actually, knowing them as Ari might be very helpful. You know, Weldor, at some point, I should like to show you a thing. But, before that, well, here's the state that we last left her in. You see a basement in Astera, and you see, like, runes on the ground. They are, like, reddish-orange runes, creating a barrier between, like, the rest of the room leading out and where Greenwich is. She is in a, like, for the most part, in a gargoyle form. And you see Deidre on the other side, like, kind of racked with some kind of grief about the state that her friend is in and wondering how to fix it. And at that point in the scene, everybody that you have met so far shows up. You see kind of like what looks like small tendrils of energy going into an object, and then a large tendril of energy going from that object. It's the lion, it's a lion statue. Going from that statue to Greenwich's form. You see this creature with these kind of dark crimson eyes start to lighten a bit and look a bit more human. Or I mean, I guess as human as a centaur person could be.
He kind of puts a kind of like a claw in the air. Kind of nods. One crisis at a time. You mentioned some affliction.
Oh,
do you have an idea of the symptoms to this point?
Of which? Of, and you see an image of one of the dwarves in the party, or of, and then you see an image of Ari.
The dwarf.
Oh, well, and then you get like that whole movie. Like there's like a clip of us talking about his sister and her having some incurable disease, and whatever my mind was able to abstract about, like they look like stick figures at this point because it's purely an abstraction. They walk over to a place that has a square that has Illipin in it, and they walk up with a dotted line, and then they stop at the gate, and then they walk away with a dotted line. But on those dotted lines is a stick figure with a concerned face, and then a stick figure that leaves with a sad face.
Jordan, do the symptoms, are they familiar to me?
Sorry, I was typing something out. Can you repeat what you were saying, Sin, in terms of what it was?
Well, I just said that they went to Illipin to see what happened, and then they got turned away from Illipin. The question that I guess I would have there would be, did they describe symptoms?
They didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
They haven't described any, but perhaps we could ask.
can certainly wait till the morning. Hopefully. I've been a bit of a fact-finding mission myself.
You hear Blackstone say this part out loud into the night air. Oh, okay. Well, what did you learn?
Fortunately, not much yet. Being turned to stone and all.
Well, this sounds like a job for either further investigations or for science. There's like just a whole hand gesture.
Rainbow. And he kind of just shuffles quietly again.
And we'll say for the rest of your first watch, things are pretty peaceful, as nothing occurs. The rest of your watch goes by without anything happening. And soon it is now Aurea and Deodora's turn for watch.
Well,
I jump high five Sid through the internet.
some weirdo jumps through the space-time continuum to hit somebody with a high five in the middle of our camp. I think as we wake up for our watch and Blackstone and Weldor go to bed, I think Deodora sort of looks at them and then looks back at Aurea and says, well, I guess Blackstone didn't need us.
You get, like, if you're looking at Blackstone while Blackstone gets ready to, like, pick a place to go into stasis, you get, like, an almost imperceptible thumbs up.
That always been brainwashed.
I guess time will tell.
Can I get Deodora and Aurea to roll perception during
Sure.
this watch?
Can Sparky give me the help action?
Of course.
Let's use this vibing.
I was gonna ask if my familiar could help, but my familiar's not gonna help me.
Why not?
Why not?
They're doing their own thing. Let's be honest. I never even named them.
You can name them now. Nothing's stopping you now that you have that time.
I mean, well, actually, before I go to bed, can I cast Find Familiar?
Oh, Lord. How about, I'll say this. We'll save that for the next one, Sen.
Okay.
I will keep that in mind.
Well, if it helps to know, I just wanted to have like a bird that just makes a lot of noise if it sees like potential enemies.
Oh, yeah.
And then go to sleep.
That's perfectly fine. Yep, we can
Yeah,
totally
that's
have that happen.
that's what I wanted to do. Just like having summon an owl that just makes a lot of noise if it sees enemies.
If there's an alarm, why am I awake? Goes back to sleep.
All right. What did the both of you roll for perception?
22.
22?
I rolled a 2, so I think I just went back to sleep.
Fuck.
Blackstone said there was an alarm and there's no reason for us to be up, so I just went back to sleep.
I think, if anything, you...
I got a 2. Sorry. Oh, total. All total, it's 7.
Okay, that's still better than 2. Trying to cop out of doing a watch. I think you're taking in the night sky. It continues to be quiet now. Occasionally the hoot of an owl. Every now and then you hear the flapping of the wings as it kind of is just running surveillance. But you all are left to your watch. If there's anything particular you wanted to talk about or check in.
Everything good down there? As I'm flying in circles above.
Yep, everything's fine.
Okay.
Like not letting Weldor get any sleep. Just being real loud.
Everything's safe.
There's a loud snore coming from Weldor, so he doesn't hear a thing.
Do we see the dwarves?
Yes, the dwarves are also asleep. They have not left, seemingly taking the stare that you gave as a warning of if they fucking leave, you will wreck them kind of thing. So yeah, no, they're staying put.
You said that if they don't do anything, they're not people?
Oh, no, I think it came out wrong. They did a bunch of bad stuff, so I haven't really decided if they're good people or not yet, or if I really need to protect them. Not so much that all people deserve to be attacked.
Oh. Yeah, because it was a little confusing when you said it, and I was going to have to rethink maybe our entire relationship, because that's just like kind of, diametrically opposed to my beliefs.
Oh, yes, no, sorry, yeah, no, I didn't mean that people weren't people, that they had to do a certain thing to get a thing. It's just, they're bad. And I haven't decided if they're bad yet, or okay bad.
I don't know if they're either. I think...
Well,
that
definitely...
they're just...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that they are just people who were put in a hard situation and did what they thought they needed to do.
And I do believe that, at least for two of them, but that's one. That's what I don't trust.
Oh, is it because the lack of remorse?
Or they just don't seem to care that they did anything, or... Though if it helps them, we can help them. I don't want them to have anything bad happen to the sister.
I think I can't really relate to their feelings of apathy or whatever towards what they did. Maybe they enjoyed it. Maybe they just were doing what they needed to do, and maybe they would do it again. And it's...
See, I'm more worried about them enjoying it. If they enjoyed crime and they liked hurting people and taking things and causing distress, then that's not a good thing. They shouldn't be rewarded. But if they were doing it specifically because they needed to and they had no other way, then I think we should help them.
Let me rephrase. I don't necessarily think they enjoyed it, but they don't regret it. And I can understand that.
Well, yes, if it's for family, then I get that too.
And
I'm not saying that they necessarily have to regret it. It's just...
Yeah. It is state
They got caught.
attitude. Yeah.
At least apologize when you get caught.
Yeah. But I guess maybe it's easy for us to say what we would or wouldn't do, or how we would act if we were in that position, because we're not in it.
That's true. I mean, I would steal to help any of you.
Yeah, I mean,
But again, I would apologize if they caught me. I would say, "Oh no, I did a bad thing. I should have stolen."
I think
I'm so sorry. How do I make it up to you?
Ori is just like being very dramatic while Theodora's trying to talk.
Yeah, Ori is loud, and like the feathers, the wings are adding to the drama.
It's like a full Shakespeare play, in this fucking clearing. I think Theodora said, I think I have said multiple times that I would kill for all of you. And I mean, frankly, if I were to kill for one of you, I don't think I would regret it.
Though I do consider stealing and killing two different things. If I was going to kill for you or because of you, it would be something I don't think I would feel bad about. But if I was stealing from people, I would feel a little bit worse, because that's, I don't know. They're still alive to feel the repercussions of being stolen. It's very complicated. Laws are complicated.
Yeah, and I guess I could see where you're stealing from somebody, but you don't really, to better your own circumstances, but you don't really know the circumstances of the people that you're stealing from. You're just making a lot of assumptions based on how they're dressed or how they act.
Exactly.
And it could be that you're just making their lives worse by trying to make your life better.
But if you steal from a major store or a chain, those chain pubs we should steal from, because there should not be franchises.
No,
that was a scheme.
I agree with you on that. I don't think, honestly, anything that's predatory and capitalistic. I don't really like if you're stealing in front of me, I don't see that at all.
We should just steal from the rich.
Yes.
And that I think is acceptable.
And
you shouldn't
corporations.
Yes, you shouldn't feel really that ashamed of that.
No. I mean, again, if you're shoplifting, if I see you shoplifting, no, I didn't see it.
But if I see you stealing from someone who obviously doesn't look like they could afford anything, or just
then
if you're stealing from someone to sleep on the side of the road, you should at least apologize if you get caught.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Like
these, they didn't do anything necessarily that bad, but they should have just acknowledged they've gotten caught and. We also said they would help them anyway, and that's one right there. Didn't seem to care that we would have helped them anyway.
Not letting this one sleep, just slapping him every time she addresses him. Yeah, I guess it is. It is complicated, and I think maybe I'm just used to a simpler way of life.
And with what they took, if that person does use it for bad reasons, a lot of people could get hurt. They had to reach into my secret pants pocket to find that, by the way. Like they dug in pockets.
Well, then they did. Well, okay. Let's back up for a second because I didn't realize it was in the secret pocket. I should have known, but I didn't know. So that's just kind of violating, I think.
Yeah, if they just stole the bags, but that was in my pocket.
Yeah, maybe a hand should be chopped off.
You hear that? You're sleeping.
Just like.
Sorry, the other two, you go back to sleep. You two are lovely. But you!
What's the name of the one that we don't like?
Gerald.
Oh, of fucking course. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, Gerald. You're on notice. I bet you're the one who dug in the pocket. You seem the type.
And I think this just goes on the rest of the night.
Yeah.
We're calm, and every so on, fucking Gerald!
Okay.
Talk about something completely different.
Oh my God. I love it.
Well done.
The rest of your watch goes by without issue. It isn't long before it's Toby and Cal's turn to take over watch. I already rolled.
Overwatch?
Push. I already rolled, and nothing else happens during their watch of everything. And it isn't long before the sun's rays start to kind of slowly peek over the horizon through the tree line, awakening you all to a new day. You're still here for a mission, if you choose to go forward with it. But what do you all do now that you find yourselves well rested, having taken a long rest?
Give me those spell slots back, Jordan.
And starting the day anew.
Weldor is an early riser. Those of you that begin to wake up, you actually hear the sounds of sizzling. The sounds of small, like, crackling as Weldor is making bacon and eggs.
You hear, like, a small hum of some kind as Blackstone comes online, as it were. What an interesting evening yesterday was. So much insight into how people think about things.
Ori is awake, just practicing, just training in a corner, punching a tree.
Same, but also, if Blackstone's saying this out loud, Theodora looks at them and is like, "Were you listening to our conversation?"
So, something, Blackstone is actually going to walk up to you and say, I appreciate how thoughtful you are about so many things when it comes to how other people who are different from you interact. And when you ask that question about whether or not he was listening, you go, well, it's an inherent part of my programming, so yes.
Also, y'all were loud as shit.
Like, the thing about Blackstone in stasis is aware of everything that happens around him. He just can't respond while he's in stasis. So, like, everything that Aurea said and everything that Diodora said, you heard all of that.
I think Diodora just internalizes this, and like in her head, like not thinking towards Blackstone or anything, is like, Aurea and I should get that mind talking bullshit so people can't hear our conversations anymore. Just, and that's like what she's thinking in her head. And it's like, oh well, I appreciate that. Blackstone, being away from my people has shown me a lot about the world, and not a lot of it is, a lot of it's good, but then a lot of it's not.
I cannot disagree, but I will stop interrupting your practice. Although I will say that Weldor has started cooking things.
Yes, I do smell the bacon.
I believe that bacon is something that most people enjoy, so I suppose we will see you at the campfire soon.
100%. Yeah. Sparky too. I've
I
been
go in.
keeping Sparky from stealing bacon.
I just trundle off to Aurea and go, Aurea, I appreciate how passionate you are about justice-related things. As I probably barely managed to dodge like a fist that like Aurea's swinging in the middle of practice.
Oh, I guess. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Were you listening to us last night? Ooh, that got weird. I don't know where I went.
You got real cockney with that. What the fuck was that?
Oh my god. Long rests are different for Aurea, y'all.
Every day from a different part of England, I see. Governor,
Man,
that
this
got
is-
weird in there.
Yo, what, Governor?
Oi, oi.
Oi,
Listen,
oi.
sometimes when you get that sleep that hits just right, you don't remember who and where you are. I'm just saying.
So that's where you disappeared
True.
to during the Basilisk battle, Aurea. It just hit way later.
But it's part of my programming.
Oh, interesting. So do you agree with so does that make sense? Is it good to only steal from rich people?
Well, there's a pause because Blackstone is like reflecting on his life as a former criminal. TM goes, well, I suppose if you are taking things from people that have more than enough of them to take for like necessary things, I suppose there's nothing wrong with that.
Excellent. So see, yeah, as long as we just don't, as long as you don't take from people who are needy, who are less than, or go sneaking through pockets, it's fine.
Oh, that reminds me.
About?
Gerald will probably be awake in a handful of minutes, but before then, would you like me to kill him?
Oh, I think, well, after talking to Theodore, I think we should give him another chance. If he starts going through other people's pockets again with no remorse, then I think maybe we should take a hand at least. But
Okay.
I feel like killing, would it be murder? Would it be punishment? I feel like he needs to at least commit at least one more crime before we jump straight to murder.
Okay.
What is
So-
it? 3 strikes and you're out? Is that the new game that everyone's playing? That's all the craze?
Oh, so my understanding is, in the event that Gerald does anything else, a hand should be removed.
In the case that Gerald does anything else illegal that hurts people, then yes.
Okay. If Jared hurts people, hand should be removed.
Criminally. Like if they accidentally trip and run into someone and they go, ow, we shouldn't take their hand. But if Gerald stabs someone, we should take a hand. Or if they start stealing again, we should take a hand.
If Gerald hurts someone with terrible intentions, then we should remove a hand.
Exactly, yes. I think I
Okay.
logicked that one through. Yes, that should be the logic needed.
Also, I just want to say, out of character, I think at one point Sin called him Jared, and I actually agree with that.
Amazing.
Because
Or
it reminds
no
me
point change the
because it
name.
reminds me of Jared Leto, and I agree.
Then
Okay.
we take both hands now. No
Okay.
more doing things.
I will keep an eye on Gerald, and if he does a terrible thing intentionally and is not remorseful, then a hand will be removed.
Yes, I think that's fine. I think that's right. Huh.
Oh, also
Dealing
breakfast
with-
is almost done.
Yes, I was about to say, dealing with more ramifications has made me quite hungry. I'm gonna go see about that bacon now. Oh god, this is gonna come to bite us in the ass.
Oh Lord. You
I think-
Blackstone has a moment where he sighs wistfully because will Blackstone be able to properly appreciate how satisfying bacon is?
Find out.
We'll find out. As the rest of the party joins you, Weldor, as you are cooking up some bacon and breakfast. You see popping in and out, there's a little miniaturized blink dog popping in and out. A
I
small...
will die for this dog.
There's also a small mouse that kind of makes its way out of Blackstone's scarf, and is now kind of found a rock that's slightly narrow and is seemingly nibbling some of the bacon while doing some runway work prep out in the wild. But yeah, you are joined by the rest of the party. The dwarves aren't jumping up to eat. They seem to kind of just be watching everything as it's happening. Gerald doesn't look like he got much sleep last night.
Good.
I can't imagine why.
There are some dark circles under his eyes from the evening.
Regrets.
You see two cast iron pans, one in each hand over the fire, and as you get closer, you see the glistening yellow color of the most perfect omelets you've ever seen. Like, we're talking French technique. And hell yeah, dual wielding. And then on sort of on the back end of it is the growing collection of bacon that is being set out onto plates. If you want some cheese, I'm happy to slide it in between the omelets.
You have cheese?
I have lots of things.
Or it's just like, just plate.
And
Don't know where you got a plate from, but she got a plate. She's holding it up.
You see kind of right next to him, there is a large collection of like what should probably be a restaurant filled of like level of plates and saucers and cups and like a shit ton of this stuff. And that he has ready to go.
Do you have a bag of brunching?
There's actually a mimosa. No.
Everything you need for brunch comes out this bag.
Out this bag. Jordan, let's homebrew some brunching items, shall we? I will tell you that this food and any snacks, because Weldor has the chef feed, and any food that he makes, like as part of like a long rest, or like with either like an hour of work or when finishing a long rest, I can cook up a treat sequel to my proficiency bonus, which is I don't even remember, but you can use a bonus action to eat one of the treats that he makes and gains the temporary hit points equal to my proficiency bonus.
Hell yeah.
Which is 3. But for the sake of breakfast, we're doing the thing.
And we'll say oh, go on.
I was going to say I take smaller pieces, like a smaller portion of like the eggs and the omelet and a bit of cheese than everyone else does. But then I also ask you, can you teach me how to make this? I have learned that food seems to bring a lot of joy to people, and I would like to learn more about how to create it.
Some say it's the key to the heart. I would be delighted. Also, based off of our previous conversation, I would like to let you know that that is indeed a metaphor and not a physical key to a heart.
Oh, that is important. Thank you.
Anytime. Happy to provide clarification.
And we'll say, as you all have your breakfast, a good breakfast, too, with a possible new friend, at least acquaintance, that has now joined the party. Still much to do and a few days out from Vibran. You all look at the rest of the day that will be happening and the possible new adventures along the way. And that is where we're going to end for today. Yay! Amazing job. Duval, welcome as our special guest for the next few weeks.
Thank you for having me. I've been a co-conspirator on Ampistrano for like... Actually, I went back and looked. Well, the AP a year.
Mm-hmm.
But in the world for 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been chatting for a while.
Long time coming. I'm happy to be here with y'all.
And we'll say this, everyone can take a point of inspiration for today's episode. Because I think everyone had a wonderful moment to spotlight and have that. Listen, fair.
Yeah, like if you take 2 inspirations, is that like you smush them together as part of breakfast? Does that equal a level?
No.
I'm always DMing.
We fought a hag. We fought 2 basilisks now. We fought something else. We fought ourselves.
We fought emotional damage.
Anyways,
I'm glad to be on the other side of this, like this leveling up demand.
Anyways,
Nice.
And thank you all too for those of you that entered for the giveaway. I saw we did. Duval, you were one of the winners, and then I believe it was
cool.
Kitty Crafto won the other. So
Yay,
I'll be getting
Kitty!
those to y'all. But we're gonna have them again next week. We'll be back with Robo next week too, so we'll have
Thank God.
everybody here. But we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Unless there's anything else you all want to plug real quick before we get out.
Yes, of course, as always.
Oh, no.
Me with the plug for the Ko-fi.com/DND Jordan Lee and Patreon.com/Ampistrano DND, I think. At the end of that Patreon URL. I would definitely like to plug those 2 things, mostly because, like, hey, you get all sorts of wonderful, magical, mystical surprises, wonder, and weirdness in the form of a person who has to be told that bacon, eggs, and cheese cannot be made into keys for the hearts of living beings.
I was like, oh no, I need to be more specific.
Yeah,
Oh shit. I'm gonna go stabbing people. I will plug one thing in particular.
Sure.
For over on the amphitheater, we just had our what was initially supposed to be the finale of Tadori Fields of Wonder, ending in a incredibly climactic final boss fight that was literally one roll from a TPK, and like actually one number. I rolled the DC. It was terrifying. So we'll have our epilogue and the finale of that finale on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time over on twitch.tv/the amphitheater. So come check it out.
Heck yeah.
And then watch all the other ones on YouTube.
Sounds good. All right, we are going to get out of here today. Make sure you get some rest. We are going to pop over to Take This. They are doing another one of their panel series. Today they're having a discussion about South and Southeast Asian identity and gaming mental health. So our good friend Norden is over there along with KP and a few other fantastic individuals. So we're going to go over there and lend our support. So look for that raid call that should be popping up into chat. And we'll see you all next time beyond the veil of Ampistrano.
Long live Ashura!
See you all next week.